Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rise. My name is Hanna Olivas, and I am joined with the one and only phenomenal Valentine Thomas. And we are going to talk about what a good catch is. And we're going to do this step by step, hint by hint, and then you'll see why this is going to be called a good catch. Welcome. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here today.
Thank you for having me. I could be mistaken for a dating coach.
I love it. I love it. So let's go. So you are doing so many different things. Number one, you have this incredible book and you do an incredible sport that many would never even think to do. So, but before that, let's backtrack a little bit and talk about where this started. What did you do prior to spearfishing? And I just gave away the first hint.
Well, I'm born and raised in Montreal, so I did my law degree and my master in law. Then I moved to London when I worked in a hedge fund for a few years. And then I quit everything to become a professional spearfisher woman, even though it doesn't exist.
I would say it does. I've seen proof. You're living proof. So it definitely is happening. So you go in the ocean and you spearfish, but not only do you do that, what else are you doing with what you catch? Hint number two.
Well, I've always been obsessed with food. So of course the natural progression of catching the food was actually to cook it. Cooking has been my passion since I was a kid. So with the years, I just kind of became a self-taught chef, I guess.
So you are diving in some of the most beautiful ocean bodies in the world. You are catching fish. You are creating these incredible recipes. Hint number three, you've written about this, about your experience. Talk to me.
So I was getting a lot of questions about how to process fish, how to cook it, how to eat it, and different stuff like that. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to write a book about it. So I went ahead and wrote a book named Good Catch.
So in the sense of you writing this book, can you share with me some of the extraordinary places that you've traveled and what was that like?
It was kind of interesting because I got to explore different areas, some of them extremely remote, like the Marshall Islands, by example, or New Caledonia. I went into Africa several times, and it was always kind of very interesting to be able to fish with the locals and then eat with them after. So I definitely got a massive culture influence in all of my food. So that was super, super interesting.
So prior to you diving, literally, and fishing, you had a really close experience with almost drowning. So how did that kind of affect where you are today?
Let's just say that the ocean and I was not love at first sight. Even though I did fall in love very quickly with bringing fish back home with me, it was really not. The ocean didn't appeal to me in the slightest. When I was 14, I got caught in an undertow on a holiday with my parents. I passed out on the water. The lifeguard saved me. They grabbed me. They put me to a little helicopter to the hospital. So I didn't swim in the ocean for about 10 years after that. But, after that, it was kind of working about, being in the water and being comfortable. That is not the only thing that kept me away from the ocean. I just grew up as an anxious kid. Everything made me anxious. I was scared of my own shadow. I had panic attacks later in life too. So let's just say that nothing was kind of pushing me in the direction of the life that I took. But I just decided to work on my mental strength and just kind of push that anxiety away. And it actually did went away. So if you're thinking that I could never do that, I would be too scared to do that. If I could do it, anybody can do it.
So was there anyone else who kind of helped influence you in the sense of spearfishing? What was the first step or how did it happen?
A friend dragged me. He dragged me feet first. I did not want to go. I was like, the idea of jumping in the ocean miles away from the shore, I was like, no way I'm doing this. I went anyway. I don't know why. I don't know what he promised me in exchange, but I did. And I jumped in the water and I actually kind of enjoyed it. And then after that, I love to learn new things. So I just kind of traveled the world and went to fish with the best fishermen I could find and just shut my mouth and learn as much as I could.
So now, is it safe to say we can't keep you out of the water?
Exactly.
So, in terms of your book, Good Catch, what are some of your most favorite recipes?
Oof, that's a tough one. And that's the beauty about fish, and that's the really thing that I wanted to showcase in the book is that there are so many ways to cook fish that we would not that sometimes we could not even think about it. And the weird thing about my cooking is that I actually very rarely cook the same thing twice. So I always cook something different. I always try something different. I believe there's too many flavor mixes in the world that I don't know about that I need to try something different every time.
Well, I've been following your socials and the stuff that you're sharing, like the pictures, it's almost too pretty to eat. Like they look so enticing and like, but I'm like, wow, that's so beautiful. I wouldn't even want to mess it up, but it looks so delicious. So I love what you're sharing, that it's really awesome. And it kind of opened up my mind in the sense of like, wow, I didn't know you could do all these different things. But I also have another question. You also have a very sincere love for the ocean overall. And I know it's kind of one of your messages, keeping the ecosystem in good standing. What are some of the things that you're doing with that?
I like to kind of share messages when it comes to sustainable seafood. Um, I do believe that it's such a complex system and it's very, very hard to understand. So I'm trying to kind of not dumb it down, but make it really digestible so people can go to the grocery store and actually understand what they're buying because there's so many options. There's so many eco labels. There's so many messages coming here and there from like Seaspiracy or all farm fish is terrible and this and that. So we're kind of overwhelmed with information and a lot of it is sadly false. So it's really kind of about trying to just denot everything into a clear message.
So, how often are you going out and spearfishing?
It used to be a lot. These days it's not as often, sadly. So I would do a few trips a year to basically fill up my freezer, and then that's what I'm going to be eating for the rest of the time. Um, as I got older, traveling is getting a little bit harder for me. I lived in my suitcase for the last 7 years, and I had the best time of my life, and I had such a great. I learned so much. I discovered so many cultures, and I still travel, and I will always travel. But as I reach 36, now I'm really going fishing solely for catching actually fish that I'm going to eat. So it's kind of subsistent fishing mostly.
So, what are some of your favorite moments in all of this? I mean, you're talking about overcoming fear, overcoming anxiety. You've written a book. You're teaching globally, how to honor sustainable food. Like you're making all these changes. What are some of your most favorite moments in the journey so far?
I remember that time I was in Africa and we just caught a really big fish and we were camping actually and then we went back to the camp and we were cutting the fish and this lady stopped by and she's like, "Oh, there's anything that you don't want on the fish? Like I would love some." So we're like, "Yeah, of course, no problem." And then she was like, "Can I have the head?" I said, "Of course you can have the head." I'm like, "What are you gonna do with the head?" And I gave her the hand, and she was all happy. And I said, why are you so happy at the head?" And she was laughing. I'm like, "Why is she laughing?" And she said, "You just gave me the best part of the fish. Why did you do that?" I'm like, "Because we don't really eat the fish head." And she explained me how much I was missing out and how it was the best part. And then it was such a beautiful moment. And I never threw away a fish head after that.
Wow. So in the traveling and all the different things that you've done, you're learning the different cultures.
Yes, and different ways to cook fish, different way to utilize it. And it's things that you would naturally not think about. And today, if I catch a fish, the head is the main thing that I want to keep. She was right. It's the best part by far.
What is and I don't want to expose your secret recipes, but what do you think? What is one of the main ingredients that people who are doing, cooking seafood and really looking for that extraordinary taste? What's one of them that you could share?
Do you know what? Fish is, if you have good quality fish, you will never need a lot of stuff. It's,
Mhm.
and I'm cheating, I'm gonna give you more than one, but with good quality olive oil, salt, lemon, and butter, you can cook insane meal as long as you have good fish.
Mm, good to know. I'm going to be telling my husband. So, what in the sense of, you're unpacking the luggage, right? What is next for you? What are you working on behind the scenes?
So this is kind of I've been asking myself that question the last few months. To be completely honest, the book took 2 years of my life, and it was very consuming. So I guess the next step for me is gonna be, I'm gonna keep kind of doing videos and just keep going with the educational content, but in a more of a video form rather than a book form. It's kind of a good complement to and reach more people too, I believe.
What do you think is one of the key components in the sense of educating? What's something that you would really like to see happen from what you're sharing?
I think that a lot of people feel intimidated when we're cooking
Mhm.
seafood, and it's actually super, super easy. So there's a lot of recipes in my book that is basically a meat recipe that I transformed into a fish recipe, such
Mhm.
as I made a buttermilk fried fish on pancakes and honey, or then I make a pad pie made with fish. And so it's really just about kind of demystifying cooking seafood and show people how easy it is and how you can replace it. And you can do fish nuggets. You kids won't make the difference.
What can we do globally to really spread the word on some of the message that you're sharing today? What actions can each one of us take?
I think the first step, the first action you can take is to buy the right food at the store. An easy step would be to look for eco labels. They are not perfect, but they are a good start. So if you, let's say, look for the MSC or ASC, this is a good thing to do when you're buying fish. Also, you can go outside the box. Maybe don't go for the salmon. Try something different. Try the weird fish that you've never heard of. Try it. It's probably fantastic. So this is definitely the second step. Like, try to go a little bit outside of the box and try species that you've never tried before. Um, so I'd say that's the two main one. Of course, you can also go deeper into your research. You can go to the Monterey Bay Aquarium Seafood Guide, by example. So there are resources out there. And the third one would be research opinions that goes against what you're thinking.
Mm,
So by example, if you're thinking um, wild fish is better than farm fish, Google the opposite, and you're gonna find different things. I think farm fish has a terrible reputation. It is part of the future. It is crucial right now for a food system to have agriculture. And there are people doing the right thing. There are people doing it right. And I think it's super, super important to encourage those people. Instead of saying farm fish is bad, it's more encourage the people who do it right, because then
mm.
this is going to transform the industry into a better thing.
Well, thank you. I think that gives us some really a lot better insight for those of us who want to learn how to cook seafood and do those things. So let's take it back a second. So, you've done a lot of different things and you faced a lot of fears. What is something that you're utilizing even today currently to continue that courage to go spearfishing, to continue to be that leader, because that's what you are. You even said it, earlier, that a lot of women do not spearfish. I mean, it's just not something that a lot of people talk about or even do. Um, how do you keep going? I mean, what are some of the things that you could share?
It's it's really, it's this going to sound cliche, but it's about just doing it.
Mm,
And it's, even these days, if I haven't fished in a long time, I will get in the water. I will still have this tiny little bit of anxiety inside of me. And the thing is that I take every challenge that I see the same way that I challenged my panic attacks when I was younger, which was basically getting out of my house and going further every day, or going to the bar, paying for my drink straight away. And then I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to stay 10 minutes today. And then I'm going to stay 20 minutes today, and just building and kind of, you put yourself outside of your comfort zone, and
Mhm.
then you just keep pushing that. And then at some point, everything will become comfortable because your brain is going to get rewired and be, I don't have anything to worry about. And the same thing with spearfishing. I stayed a little bit, I was like super, super close to the boat. And then I get a little bit further and a little bit further. And then all those steps become more comfortable. And then at some point, I'm terrified of heights, terrified of heights. And even though if I don't do it, if I jump out of an airplane 200 times, I'm not going to be scared anymore. And it's the
Mhm.
same thing for everything. And it can be difficult conversations. It can be the way you talk to your boss. It can be anything. If you do something that makes you uncomfortable, the more you do it, you will be comfortable with it at some point.
So you've been very open about sharing, panic and anxiety. What do you think is one of the reasons why we as women face it so much more intensely now than we ever did before? Because it's really, it's a pandemic of its own. Like it's very scary. I suffer from it, even currently, and it like navigating mental health in addition to being an author and doing all this traveling and all these different things you do. We as women wear so many different hats at one time, which increases anxiety, which increases depression. Like, why do you think we experience it more now than we did before? What do you think that's about?
Well, there definitely is a natural component of it. So you are born with, as a part of the front brain, it's called the amygdala, which if
Mhm.
it's bigger, it's because you're more prone to anxiety. So
Mhm.
there is a genetic aspect of it right away. But also when it comes to more society habits, I strongly believe that the lack of exposure to nature and stuff like that plays a massive
Mhm.
role when it comes to that. Um, and of course, there's the pressures being a woman. It's just now we're supposed to have a career, but you're also supposed to do the dishes and wash
Mhm.
clothes and do all of that stuff. So it's just, we do have a lot of pressure, and it's a tough one, but it's spending time outside. I'd say it's definitely one of the thing, and then also this is going to be controversial. I don't want to offend anybody by saying that, but I think that we're too quick to resort to taking pills when it comes to
Mhm.
anxiety. And I know that some people definitely do need it, and it's a necessity for some
Mhm.
people. But I think that we need to also learn, if you're getting panic attacks, by example, or you're getting super anxious about different things, it's before you start taking it, you need to see a therapist. You need to work on your mental strength. You need to work on yourself before, because if you just put a band-aid on something and you don't treat the actual wound, then it's going to keep coming back, and that's why you're not going to get out of it. So it's yeah, it's a touchy topic.
Do you think that, they say typically once you start having them, there's not really a cure, right? But like you're talking about, kind of training yourself to understand what it is. I think it comes from a place of understanding triggers when they're coming on, being able to recognize it before it kind of happens. And I've heard women especially share, don't fight against the panic and the anxiety, but actually kind of feel each step of it. Is that something that you do, or do you go in fight or flight mode?
So it's my panic attack lasted for about a year and a half, something like
Mhm.
that. And then I was actively seeing a therapist twice a week, and I didn't take any medication either. And it's honestly meeting somebody I met somebody who told me they go away.
Mhm.
Like don't worry about it. Now it sucks, but it does go away. That
Mhm.
really gave me the kind of strength to push through. And after a year and a half, they went away, and I never had a panic attack since.
Wow. Wow. That's
And
incredible.
I do believe that did really stem from the fact that I saw somebody and I worked on my anxiety and I worked on my like on my mental health and everything. And that's why the biggest advice I can give to somebody who is suffering from anxiety and panic attack: try to figure out what makes you anxious. Work with somebody. There's Better Health who
Mhm.
offers a service that's very cheap, that's very accessible, and it's, you know how you would never think about the fact that when you're sick, you're going to go to the doctor. If you're feeling anxious, your mental health, go see a therapist. There's nothing shameful about it. Not even a tiny little bit. It's a mind doctor. There's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that.
So, in your experience, spearfishing and doing all these different things, embracing these new cultures, travel, I have to ask this, and you've probably been asked this 100 times. When you're underwater and you're going for that good catch, how often have you experienced shark visits, or those what I would call terrifying moments? How often has that happened?
Well, there's this very fish nerd joke that we have to say the one way to know if there's sharks in the water, you taste it. If it's salty, there's sharks. And it's actually true. But by living in Florida, there's sharks every time we get in the water. Sharks are there. We encounter them every fishing trip. Um, and you learn how to handle them. They're like dogs. It's If
Mm,
you see a dog, you're gonna see by the body behavior if they're
mhm,
aggressive or not. If you see an aggressive dog, you're not gonna go and try to pet it. You're not gonna throw and try to, put a steak in front of his
mhm.
face. Same thing with sharks. If you see they're aggressive, you jump back on a boat and you basically go to a different spot. But if they're chilled out, they just want a free meal. They want a treat. They're there. They know you're fishing. They know you might have an easy catch for them. So that's it. They stick around and they wait. And then worst case scenario, they're gonna eat the fish you just catch, and then that's it. They don't want you. They want your fish.
Wow, I never really thought about it that way. Huh. I mean, not that I wanna encounter any, but I never really thought about it in that kind of a perspective. My favorite, I think, are dolphins. I just think they're absolutely adorable. So I'm a big dolphin fan.
Then do not. So you're gonna hate me. Don't ever research dolphin.
Okay. I will keep that in mind. I don't want my bubble to burst. I just think they're and sea turtles is my other.
Yes, sea turtles are very cute.
I'm fascinated by their hard shell strength. Longevity is a big thing for me too. I don't know. There's just something about them. So we are literally celebrating the month of September is all about women's empowerment, um, inspiration for women. What is something that you do day to day to just keep yourself inspired and empowered?
I stopped comparing myself
I love that.
to other people, and I always live my life being like, what are the people doing? Oh, I could be more successful. I could make more money. I could do this. I could do that. And at some point, I just took a step back and be what makes me happy in a day to day life, and then instead of chasing more contract and chasing all of this, I just, I got a puppy instead. And that was making me happy. That makes my day happy.
An adorable puppy too, which you said is 4 months old. Yeah, very adorable. And we were talking pre-show about Valentine has a puppy, we have a goat. And it's so incredible how fur babies really they're like our little humans, right? Those are our babies and we love them. So I know that you are doing so many different things. Do you think a restaurant is in the horizon? Maybe a cooking show in the horizon? Anything like that?
A cooking show, yes. A restaurant, no. Again, I'm 36, so I don't have kids yet. I know I'm gonna have to get on it at some point, and kids in the restaurants, I don't think I'm gonna be able to juggle the two of them. And all my restaurant friends, the one thing they tell me is that I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Please don't do it.
Oh, I love the honesty. I mean, yes, having a restaurant, I hear, is very stressful. And there's other ways to really showcase what you're doing, like a cooking show. I hope to see that come to fruition for you. And I just want to say, in the sense of, where can people find your book?
On Amazon mostly.
Okay.
I suggest Amazon because if you like the book, please leave me a review. If you don't like it, please don't. uh,
I love it. If you like it, leave it. If you don't, then don't.
it's you'll be surprised how much it helps. Like a positive review really makes a massive difference. So that's kind of why I'm pushing the Amazon stuff.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for spending some
Of
time with
course.
me. I'm so glad we could finally make this happen. And congratulations to you and everything that you're doing. And
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And my final word would really be if you think you can do anything, please go ahead and try it because you're really gonna be surprised. You're so much stronger than you think that you are. It's insane.
definitely, I couldn't agree more. So, everyone, get the book, and you are all over social media, which we will share so people can follow your journey and see these incredible pictures that you share with these recipes.
Thank you.
So beautiful. And congratulations to you, and congratulations to you and your new puppy.
Thank you.
Thank you.